Hey everyone, who wants to have a look at a cracked piston? Because we got one here and it's cracked and it's cut open. And I'm pretty sure we showed this before in another video, but it's been sitting on the bench for a while. I'm going to get rid of it. So I thought I'd just show you and have a quick chit chat with you about it before we get rid of it. Now, let's just recap. The biggest causes of cracked pistons, firstly, quite obviously, I mean, I've been working on these vehicles, Prados, Hiluxes, 1KDs, well over 10 years, let's just say, about 10 years, just to be modest. And it's really obvious. Early days, there were people cracking pistons at 80,000 Ks and they had chips. And now what we see, that there was a point in time where I would have said 160 to 200,000 Ks, and you can probably check my old videos where I said that, was the most common time they cracked pistons. And there was plenty of vehicles with higher Ks at that point and lower Ks and all that. But the 80, 90,000 K stopped with the chips and stuff like that. And then it seemed to be around the, closer to 200,000 Ks. And we're talking 120s, that the injectors aren't as good as the 150s. So then you go, okay, well, old flogged injectors, it makes sense. And then Toyota, there's some Toyota documents, and one clearly says that injectors are the wrong combustion is the cause of the cracked piston. We'll try and make the injectors better, and we'll try and make the pistons better. And there's all these revisions of pistons, and these are one of the latest revisions right here. And if I remember correctly, this one's probably one of the ones at about 100,000 Ks with a chip. So if I've been looking at these and trying to work out why the piston's cracked and working on these, doing maintenance, preventive maintenance for a long time, I reckon I've got not a bad idea what's going on with why the piston's cracking. Now, like I said, the biggest one was the chips. Now the biggest thing in the last 5 years since sliced bread is remaps, tunes, and all that sort of thing. And 100%, longer than 5 years, but 100%, all these vehicles with the remap and the tune, whatever you want to call it, the ECU tune or the whatever you've got, they are the biggest. They are the biggest cracked pistons, right? Like the most. If there was 100 cracked pistons, at least 50 of them would be tuned, right? Which tells you this is a big contributor. It's not like there's 1,000 of them and there's two and one's tuned and one's not, or whatever. It's big numbers, mate. Of every car that cracks a piston, and this doesn't just happen with 1KDs. This happens with other diesel engines as well. The pistons look very similar on top to this sort of design, okay, and they look exactly the same when they crack. And the cracks on the pistons can take time. So I want to give you a bit of an example here. A lot of chit chat. I'll try and keep it down to about 10 minutes, right? So let's just say you picked up a second-hand car, and people have been towing caravans around in overdrive and they've never changed their injectors. Some damage to the piston can happen. And what I mean is, because some people just think I just talk and I don't give you info. So let me give you some info, right? Right, can you see right in the middle of that picture there, there's a crack, right? You can see that one right there. I need my laser right there, right? But you can see it doesn't go past about there. And if you look on the inside, so it doesn't really go anywhere but there. So once you've got that crack there, say you purchased a car with 200,000 Ks, runs beautiful. It's going to run fine with that crack there, no issues at all. But you don't know it's like that. This is the problem. And then you do the right thing, or you don't. So most people aren't going to purchase a car and have a crack on a piston like that. That's the first thing. But it could be. You don't know how that vehicle's been looked after, how it's been maintained, how it's been driven, what towing it's done. Has it done it in fourth, avoiding overdrive? When I say fourth, it doesn't matter if it's a 6-speed manual 1KD, a 5-speed auto, a 1GD with a 6-speed auto, or a 5-speed manual. Fourth gear is your gear that avoids overdrive, because fifth and sixth are generally overdrive gears from my memory, to the best of my recollection. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong, and I'll check it out. But I'm pretty confident about that. I can't remember anything. There's lots of numbers and things to remember, but that's one thing that I'm pretty sure I remember. And nobody reads the owner's manual, do they? Because that would be too hard and way too much reading. So you just go on the Facebook group and you ask all these questions that are quite simply answered by doing a small amount of reading. So have a read of the workshop manual. It says towing, read under towing, fourth gear, not overdrive sort of thing, right? So now, bigger tyres, I've said it before, bigger tyres, roof racks, wind resistance, bull bars, big four-wheel drive, made even bigger with these modifications, heavier, works harder. This is a 4-cylinder engine. right? So there's a number of contributors. So let's just get back to that. Number one is definitely the chips, tunes, remaps, right? We'll just call it that. The next one is old flogged injectors. So this leads me to the point where I want to say, if you want to maintain and keep the thing on the road, hit me up on Monday the 28th of April for your injector kit in a text message at about 8 a.m, 7:30, 8 a.m, whatever you want. Or if you want to get in for the pre-orders, that's, I think I said Thursday the 24th at whatever bloody time you like, to be quite honest. And I'll get to it when I get to it. Send you the order, you can pay for it. And let's get the ball rolling on all these injector kits, because there's going to be dozens of them. Anyway, a lot of people want to look after their vehicles. And what we've seen from advising people of this, doing injector replacement, providing injector kits, and having a VIP group, a group of thousands of clients that have all done the same thing, generally don't have any problems with cracked pistons at very high kilometres. There's heaps of people with 300,000, 400,000, that sort of thing. Yep, they could have problems later, because what you've got to remember is what I said at the start. You don't know the history unless you've had it from new and you've done the oil changes, the coolant changes, and it's not modified with chips, tunes, and remaps. It's had injector changes. It's been done right. No blow-by, you know, the injector seat's leaking and then oil starvation, blocked oil pickups, and then the oil can't, you know, cool the pistons, that sort of thing, right? So all these things, you don't know the history. If you've picked up the vehicle with even 100 or 100, you might think you got a low K one, 80,000 Ks or 120. Great, but is it 15 years old? Because injectors, like I said, ballpark recommendation from myself, 7 years, 170K, right? So the 120s may be a little bit lower than that in kilometres. It depends on the condition of them on the diagnostic tool. We've got a whole heap of playlists on our YouTube channel on injector diagnostics, injector information, how to look after the vehicle, how to avoid all this stuff. It's pretty simple. Most people can avoid it, but you're going to get the odd one. The odd one is because, you know, you don't know the history. The injectors haven't been done. They've been towing around in fifth gear, highly modified vehicles, four-cylinder engine working hard. And when you combine all these contributing factors, there's a chance it can happen. So, but the good news is the only thing that can happen to this engine, this whole vehicle, the 120 or the 150 Prado, the 1KD to let you down, the only thing that can happen is this. Nothing else is going to let you down. All the maintenance and preventative maintenance, I've got it all sorted out and given you the information so that you can avoid and maintain when to do your front wheel bearing assemblies, which we have on the shelf, of course, rear wheel bearing replacement, BFE kits, timing belts, all this sort of stuff, doing your own servicing. It's all in the videos because you want it done right. Careful who you let work on your car, right? So, I don't know, to me it's really simple. That's why I choose these cars and these engines, last to the best, and I'm going to do these crazy things, but I want to say to you, I don't want everyone to get excited and everyone start changing their engine as a preventative thing, because that's a bit ridiculous, to be quite honest. That's just me. It's just something I said. The reasons were, you know, as I said, it creates a cheap option for someone that this might be the first video they see. They might have cracked a piston recently, or they might in the next few months or next year. There's a cheap second-hand engine there at the moment. I don't know if it's going to sit there for months or years, or if it's going to be snapped up in no time. Much cheaper than a new engine, and with a pro rata warranty, right? So I'm not here to sell you the engine though. I want to tell you about these, show you this piston. We're going to get in and have a closer look at it. I'm not going to tell you all about it. I said 10 minutes, got a minute and a half to go. So you get the picture. Preventive maintenance, all the servicing, oil changes, coolant, air filters, MAF sensors being cleaned, MAP filters being replaced, clean intakes, you know, EJ and intake systems clean, okay? The vehicle needs to be looked after, considering airflow, bull bars, you know, lights and everything in front of the cooling system blocking that, you know, airflow, right? Just, you might want to have a good look at this, right? So there's a heap of material there. That's solid. Like, people talk about their weak little pistons and whatever. Well, why is it that then there's so many of these that have done 500,000 Ks when they crack a piston? So I had someone contact me in the last couple of days. It's pretty rare that we even hear of cracked pistons these days, because people that listen to me, they generally don't have cracked pistons. 440, 50,000 Ks, somewhere around there. It had injectors. Oh yeah, it had them replaced. Had them replaced at about 140 or 180 or something. So now it's at 440. Has it had them replaced again? So we've got an older engine that hasn't had the required injector replacement. Wonder why it's got cracked pistons, right? So, look, I could be wrong, but I'm just saying, you know, if you follow the guidelines. Anyway, I'm nearly out of time. So there you go. Have a look at it, right? You want to have a look at it, how exciting. Look how much meat there is. Right, so there's the other half of the cracked piston, but just cutting it, that is out of control. There's a heap of strength there. And it's all avoidable. There's nothing wrong with these pistons. It's bloody maintenance, it's injector replacement, it's chips, tunes and remaps. Catch you in the next video. 10 minutes up, see you, bye.